we offer out Wednesday night education to our team and Team YL every week. We've done this consistently since March of 2020. We used to love having in-person classes here in Peoria, but obviously pivoted when we needed to, and have really developed a great clearinghouse of content in our YouTube channel. So all the recording that you see here tonight will be uploaded to our YouTube channel at Living Well Now, and you can access it under Oily Education to send to friends or family members who couldn't join us live. We really know that it's impacting people in a positive way, especially when we have been isolated from one another, to connect in this way, as well as seek education from one another on the best ways to live healthy, happy lives. And I am super, super blessed to have one of my earliest mentors with me tonight, Sheila Auter. I first met her when she was a college student, and I was a wee elementary kid who looked up to her with such just such excitement, because Sheila put together a performance for her senior convocation. She had some incredible student leaders from the college campus involved in something that still to this day inspires me, Sheila, with energy and enthusiasm for childlike learning from zero through our end here on earth. And so I'm grateful to you for that example when I was a little girl, and now as a woman in my 40s, my mid 40s at that, I continue to just be grateful for your role in my life and connection with you. So thank you so much for bringing your wisdom here tonight. I'm sure you'll tell us a little bit about your story as part of this, but we are really grateful to have you share with us tonight, all the way from Washington, because you're at home tonight. Yeah?
Right. 60. I wrote 65 and I just checked. It's actually 63. So we were excited because we had rain this morning. We haven't had a rainy day since March, April. So we'll get back into that real soon. But yes, Ange, kudos to you, right back at you. So good. And I am thrilled to be with all of you tonight and teach about something that's very dear to close to my heart, of really feeling that it's something that we all need. We can all learn it as we grow. The idea of our brain, right, and what we do for it continues to evolve. So yes, I have known Ange a long time, but it's one of those things where you have friends that you feel like you could be friends forever, but distance and time and our stages of life, we're not always in touch. And in 2012, I had, other than Christmas time and maybe once or twice here or there, touch base with her mom, Deb, who just a dear friend. We just weren't really fully in touch. And for purpose of tonight, I'm going to tell you, at that time in my life, full-time teaching, parenting, middle school, high school age children, my brain was fried, and I had all kinds of things going on and not really seeing how they were connected, because here's the deal. Growing up, I had not really, this is no slam against my parents or even my community. I really didn't have a good foundation or an understanding of supplements and nutrients and health. And so anyway, I knew I needed a little bit more. And my more came when I reached out to Deborah. First Angela, then she led me to Deb. And Deb just said, Sheila, you're gonna love these oils. And I know you're going to want to teach about them. Like, okay. So without smelling them, without seeing them, me in Indiana at the time, she in Arizona, and no, we weren't on Facebook yet. We weren't on it. We had no FaceTime, Zoom. We were just talking over the phone. And I hung up and said to my husband, well, I just signed up and I'm getting a kit of essential oils, and here we go. And that just led to here we are today. And I'm still not only just using those few in my kit, it's our daily life. Always using using Young Living products, and that just led to teaching. Deb was right, and sharing, and to an organization where being a brand partner, partnering with Young Living, and proudly branding the name, living out with them, applying and using the oils so that people notice, and that's what happened. And so anyway, the team has grown. I love my Simply Enough team. Yay, shout out to anyone who's on tonight, to where I hit gold, and continue as taking good care of the team. Okay, yay. So I'm really excited to be with you tonight, and I want to start off with a story. And I will be using notes because I get excited and I start talking and I go off, and I probably will still do that, but that's okay. But I do want to try to refer to my notes. So I will be using them. But I do want to start off with a story. It's about a man who grew up in a small rural town surrounded by farmland. As he grew old, he was proud of the fact that he had never broken a bone in his life or had any reason to be put in the hospital. And this surely made him healthy. At age 50, he started his own business and spent most of his day sitting at a desk. He worked long hours, and when he was not working, he was volunteering somewhere in his community or helping a neighbor in need. He was always on the go, rarely having time for intentional rest, and ate out for most of his meals. He loved eating bologna sandwiches, fried or mashed potatoes, deep fried foods, and any kind of sausage. His wife, who was obsessed over the scent of things, was always plugging in fragrances in the house, a different one for every holiday, and washing and drying their clothes with scented detergents and dryer sheets. She often bought him cologne, and he wore it daily because she loved a good smelling man. So when he was in his 70s and he started to forget things, and he wasn't able to do simple things like sign his name or cut along a piece of paper, he went to the doctor. And he was diagnosed with a disease that really stopped him in his tracks, because his whole idea of healthy was now not. As we age, our brain, our bodies, we know things change, and we sometimes forget that what we do in our 20s, in our 30s, in our 40s will have huge impact for who we are and how we're doing and what we're doing in our 70s, 80s, and beyond. And so I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to dive into this about this brain health, about what can boost it and what can bust it if we're not careful. And so let me get to this. There we go. Very good. All right. So really, it's all about doing that. It's like putting the pieces together to build that better brain. Okay. All right. So you guys are familiar? You remember the Little Shop of Horrors? I can't even remember what it's called, but the Feed Me Seymour deal. The brain is the most active organ in the body, and it's constantly replenishing and repairing itself. Much of the food we eat not only ends up being used by the brain for energy, but ends up in the brain itself. So it's really true. You are what you eat. Now, there are several boosting nutrients that the brain thrives on, but there's one that it needs more than any of others, okay? And this might surprise you. It's actually fats, okay? Your brain needs good fat more than any other nutrient because the brain is made of fat. Notice, though, well, I didn't say, but it needs good fats. Okay. So it's really important to know that. That's because the brain friendly, brain boosting fats called polyunsaturated fats are the good fats that are found in nuts, like walnuts, almonds, macadamia nuts, or avocados, in olive oil, in deep green vegetables like spinach and kale, and in some seeds like pumpkin seeds. I love this time of year where we can roast our own pumpkin seeds, and they're very good for your brain. Some cold fatty fish like salmon and tuna have this good fat in them, and they are really good for your brain. And some eggs that come from organic vegetable fed chickens will have this very good fat in them, and they're a brain booster for your brain. As I love this picture. Don't you just want to eat it up? It's so good. And the thing about the best fat for your brain, it's actually good for every cell of your body. They are called the omega-3 fatty acids. They are components of the membranes that surround every cell that you have, not just in your brain, but everywhere in your body. And one of these 3 fatty acids is called DHA. Now, sometimes I'm going to get out of this here just a little bit to look at you guys. It just helps me. I know I see names, but I know there's a smile behind those names too. It's good. Now, DHA is one of those omega-3 fatty acids that are so good for us. And the brain needs a lot of it, okay? Because it converts DHA to energy. And then that gives us the alertness, the focus, gives us that upbeat mood we want, and that fast response time, like recalling a name from the past or a word, that right word you're looking for. The brain needs DHA. Again, that's one of the omega-3s to help do that. Now, the suggested supplement daily amount for adults is 300 milligrams of DHA. Now, I don't know about you, but I love salmon, and I live in a place, thank goodness, that it's easy to get, but it's not always easy for people to eat enough salmon or tuna or enough nuts, all that, to get the 300 milligrams of DHA. So what to do? Well, we know Young Living always comes to the rescue, right? It has given us an easy, highly effective way to get a daily dose of not just 300, but 310 milligrams of DHA to boost our brains. What is this supplement? Now's the time I want to share this screen, right? This supplement is the super brain supplement, Omega Gize. If you're not taking this, you guys, you must add this to your daily routine. It is so good and so full of lots of nutrients, and one of them being the DHA. Okay, notice it's Omega Gize 3. That 3 stands for the omega-3 fatty acids, and you could do some research. It's amazing. I mean, just the quality of the fatty acid that's included in Young Living's Omega Gize is super high. And again, that's what I love. I don't have to question the quality. I just know I'm going to get the best when I use a Young Living supplement. So definitely this supplement will probably be coming up several times tonight. So if you're taking notes, write this down. Do your research, check into it. If you're not taking it, you also may want to consider talking to your doctor. That's probably what I should have said right away. Don't take my word for it here tonight, guys. I am sharing what I know to be true for myself. And also I do a lot of research and reading, but you need to be your own advocate. Okay. We're not prescribing here tonight. We're not telling people what they should do. But jot this down and look into, because you will find on the label here that you can take, you can adjust the dose. Take 2 to 4, 2 or 3 times a day, or you can adjust that. So definitely think about, is it time to make an adjustment to your dose of omega-3? All right, tonight we're going to be doing some chat. Ange asked you to practice by putting your name and where you are coming from tonight, where you're living at. At first, well, we're going to do that several times just to get you active, get the brain going. So I want to know right now, a quick brain check in the chat. Let's see how good your recall is. Will you tell us the name of your kindergarten teacher? And if you can't remember that, then at least the first school teacher you can remember. Put that in the chat for now as we move on here. I would love to hear. It's so fun. Mine was Miss Pro. Miss Pro. I'll have to remember. Maybe I can remember to tell a story about her at the end. It'll fit to my ending if I do. So if not, Angie can remind me, but that's an interesting story. All right. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's go back. I wanted to stop share actually right now to look at you guys. Okay. Yeah, to look to see. Oh, Miss Henderson, Mary, I see that. It's so fun to see names. It's so fun too. If you're a teacher or you know teachers, it's fun to be remembered even after many, many years. Oh my golly, someone had their grandmother. How cool is that?
And somebody had their mother. And then I just had to ask Julie Garrettson how she remembers to spell a Greek name from a kindergartner's perspective. I would imagine that you
all
had
the
to learn
mega she takes.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it helped that she was the only kindergarten teacher at our school, so everybody had to know how to say her name.
That's
and
incredible.
I was the oldest in my family, so all four of us had her. And yeah, Mrs. Athanasakis. We didn't even call her Mrs. A, nothing short like that. We all had to learn her name.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Sorry, we digress. No. I get so distracted by
It's good. And I sometimes it's so rigid when I start kind of thinking, I love this better. And I see people remembering first names. How wonderful. How great that is. And we know there's lots of reasons why we may remember. And there are some people though who do not remember those things too. But it's fun to recall back. So good job. Thanks for all of that. That's a great little check there. Now, I was talking about good fats, right? Our brain needs fat. It's the good fats it needs. That's what will boost it. But there are some fats that are busters, okay? And I'm sure you're not surprised by that when you think of the word fats. These are trans fatty acids, okay? These fats are unnatural. They are manufactured. Okay. And they sadly have dangerously crept into the food supply and into our brains. So why are these fats brain busters? Well, these fats make your cell brains. So think about the cells around your brain, especially, but your cell membranes hard and rigid. We need them to be flexible, right? And we need them to be like that moist, moving, I think of like blubbery fat kind of thing, but we need membranes to be that way. But trans fat, if you have too much of that trans fat in your bodies, then the membranes of your cells will become hard and rigid, okay? And they destroy the cell's ability to make energy, to get adequate nutrition inside the cell, or to even communicate with other cells, sending a message from your brain down to your hand to sign your name, or to cut, or to do whatever you do. It actually begins to damage that. And here's the kicker, okay? This is something that I hope you definitely take away, because I did not know this until, again, in my research, so as a teacher, I got excited. Did you know that those trans fatty acids, okay, those kinds of fats, of bad fats, will crowd out healthier fats? Here's what I mean. Let's say you're taking omega-3 daily, and you should be proud of it, and you take it just like the label says, 2 in the morning, 2 with your lunch, and you're feeling good about that. However, your diet, the things you're eating, you tend to eat a lot of packaged cookies, Oreos, maybe donuts, maybe even granola bars, or fried foods, anything like that that may have those trans fatty acids in them, then you are actually all those good fats, the omega-3s that Omega-Gize is giving you, your brain cells are not getting them because the other trans fatty acids are crowding out and they take over the cells first. So, woo, come on, we're pouring money, right, into these great supplements. Let's definitely not waste it. And let's start paying attention and changing what we're eating throughout the day. So let's get the fats off the plate. Especially it's easy to eat those kinds of fats in midday and mid-afternoon or late at night when we get the kind of we're hungry or we're emotional and we start feeding ourselves. And what do we tend to do? We tend to go for things with trans fatty acids. So just be careful on that. Think about your future self, right? What you're doing today matters for your future. So definitely read the labels on your foods. Check for things like that say partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, partially hydrogenated vegetable oil. That's just a short term for shortening, which it was a staple in most baked goods from where this man I'm telling you about, where he grew up. A lot of small towns like that, they don't have big grocery stores. So you're buying things from convenience stores, or you're buying some of the baked pastries and that sort of thing filled with that kind of stuff like shortening. Not so good. All right. You're going to find many, this kind of bad fat in many processed foods like lunch meat or boxed dinners, with powdered cheese. Some of them. And yes, I've mentioned the granola bars. You've got to be careful. Some things people think are healthy, but they are not. Okay. So just be smart, use your brain and, continue to give it the good kind of fats. All right. Let's look on to just some other nutrients that are really good brain boosters. If you ever find yourself irritable or unhappy, or you really feel like you're losing it, chances are you are low on one or more of the B vitamins, okay? B vitamins, incredibly important for our health, especially for our brain health. Okay. B vitamins are critical for brain health and are found in lots of different foods, as you can see here. It's not just like a vegetable or fruits. It's in all kinds of foods like meat, fish, eggs, whole grains, fortified cereals, and in some fruits and vegetables. But the problem is this: B vitamins can be quite fragile and they can be destroyed by microwave cooking. And I know it's easy. There are still people that will microwave, heat up, or cook their meat or their vegetables inside, in their microwave. And because vitamin Bs are so delicate, they could be destroying the nutrients that they think they're getting when they're eating, what would be a good food like spinach or chicken. Also, since animal products are the best source of many B vitamins, vegetarians or people who don't eat a lot of meat are at particular risk of running low on B vitamins, so especially B12. So you're going to want to supplement your daily diet with enough B vitamins. And what do we do? How can we do that? Yes, Young Living comes to the rescue again, and that is Super B. Love, love, love this product. I will tell you, Super B is one of, just trying to think off the top of my head, probably one of 3 right now. That's what I'm thinking, 3 supplements that if I do stop taking, I notice a difference in my mood, in my, like, that brain recall, the energy. I mean, it's almost night and day. It's over time, but like a week or 2, I was like, what is wrong with me? Oh yeah, I'm waiting for my next my Super B coming. I really don't want to be out of this supplement. So jot this one down. If you already take it, good for you. Again, this is one that it's the recommendation is to take 2 daily. And here's what I like to do. I don't know if you're familiar. I'm going to show you this. Here's a plug for a Young Living leader. Some of you know Jen O'Sullivan, and she has a desk reference book just for supplements. Okay, Jen O'Sullivan. And she has protocols in here too, so I love that. But one of her protocols for brain health is you could take both Super B, at once, but she suggests take one with breakfast and one with lunch. Oh, it's so good, you guys. I mean, like, that is just something that's so great, because you're just spreading them out, and you can continue that sustained energy through the morning and then sustained energy through the afternoon. So love, love, love Super B. I don't know how many of you do too. Thumbs up, thumbs down. You might be into that one too. Multigreens is another one that you could add to your list. Also take that. Some people choose that one over the Super B. You decide what's best for you. Okay. Maybe people take both together. I don't know, just you decide, but I do love my Super B. Okay, one quick note here that I'd like to make. Remember when I we talked about how lots of foods can be, have these vitamins and nutrients. Please be thoughtful in cleaning off your fruits and vegetables before eating, because they're grown and you don't know, some of them you don't know where they're coming from. Even if they're organic, you don't know the process from getting from the garden to your kitchen, what they've gone through. So the Young Living, again, comes to the rescue and helps boost our brain by keeping out the pesticides and the other things that are sprayed and on and around our foods. And here we go, fruit and veggies soak and spray. Definitely something that I always have on hand and use, especially during the summer and fall, about every day. Okay, just so important. All right, and who doesn't love a bright sunny day? You talked about the hot temperatures, I know, but sunshine, I mean, how can you not be happy when you do have a day filled with sunshine? Well, sunshine gives us another reason to be very happy. Vitamin D, when we're out in the sun, enough sun, like, for longer than an hour or so, our bodies will begin to give us we get that vitamin D, and vitamin D helps our brain by protecting its delicate neurons from toxins that promote free radical production and inflammation. Again, vitamin D helps your brain by protecting the delicate neurons from the toxins that are always going to be around. I mean, no matter how hard you try to keep toxins out of your body and out of your home, I mean, they're around. And so vitamin D can help with that. So problem is, as we know, many of us we don't live in Arizona and don't get sunshine every day and can't be out about it. We may, especially if we have long winters or long springs of snow or rain and dreariness, and we just don't get that sunshine, or we cannot be out in it. So what can we do? We can supplement. Thanks again to Young Living. We can boost our brain with super vitamin D. Yummy, tasty, you chew them, they're so delicious. And you can get a good amount of vitamin D, but you do not only get vitamin D from this supplement itself. Omega-Gize, like I had already mentioned, has vitamin D in it. So again, another plus for Omega-Gize. And also, we'll talk about this one later, but MindWise, Young Living's MindWise already has vitamin D in it. So yeah, good way to supplement if you aren't able to be out in that sun every day, which doesn't always happen. So that's really good. All right, let's do a brain check real quick here. Sunshine and the aroma of citrus oils can put a smile on anyone's face. So in the chat, tell us your favorite Young Living citrus oil and how you like to use it. We'll do that for a little bit and I will get ready to move on. Your favorite Young Living citrus oil and how you like to use it.
And while we're doing that, I'm going to announce that Donna LaCour was our first winner tonight. So congratulations to Donna. Super glad that you're here and learning all the things about brain boosting and that you remembered your kindergarten teacher's name. because I think some people were silent because they didn't know. So congratulations, Donna. We are grateful that you're here, and I'll put a link
Hey,
to the giveaway form in the chat so that you can fill that out at your earliest convenience, and we can put a product credit on your account.
Yay, yay. Wonderful. Yay. Donna, did you?
Thank you.
Oh, yay, good. And don't you wish we could send your kindergarten teacher a bottle of your favorite oil? Oh, a long time ago. Look at all these. This makes me happy. Citrus fresh and lemon, yummy. Yes, favorite oils. Oh, love them. Love them. Definitely. Lime, yummy. Love that one. That's my favorite lately. Very good. All right. So good. Okay. Well, oh, yes, lemon and water. Love it. All right, as we continue on thinking of nutrients and boosters for our brain, we're going to kind of look further into something that you probably many of you might already be supplementing, and it sounds like it's a good thing, and the nutrient even sounds like it would be good, but maybe you don't know why. So let's look into this. Every time a cell makes energy, any cell in your body, it produces toxic substances called free radicals. Okay? Think of it as cellular pollution that we're created to naturally eliminate through sweating, through the tears we cry, through urinating. But that's what happens. Okay? And free radicals don't like keeping to themselves. They like to bond with other molecules in healthy cells. When they do, they can damage surrounding tissue and organs, such as the heart, the joints, and skin. Now, this process is something that's happening all the time in our bodies, and it's called oxidation. Now, given the choice, free radicals would rather bond with fat cells than with any other kind of cells in your body. Now, this is a problem because can you remember what I told you our brain is mostly made of? It's fat. So that's where a lot of times free radicals will find where they like to bond, as particularly the cell membrane of the brain cells. Okay, so what do free radicals have to do with misplacing your keys, not being able to remember names, or to find that right word? Everything. Because damaged brain cells do not learn or store information as efficiently as healthy brain cells. But thank goodness for the next brain booster that we're going to talk about that could probably be called the free radical police, antioxidants. Okay, we hear that word, we know, oh yeah, that sounds good. I want some antioxidants. Sure. We want to fill, we want to make sure, oh, sorry guys. We want to make sure we get enough of them. Got to go up here. So how can we get them? Yes, right here. Ningxia Red is packed with them, okay? Berries, fruits, cherries, wolfberries, plums, and pomegranates. There are, some of these, you can also find lots of antioxidants in lots of other kinds of foods as well, fruits and vegetables. But this is just a simple way every day to make sure you are giving your body the free radical police, right? To kind of gather up and bind up and get rid of the free radicals in your body so they don't bind to healthy cells. Another antioxidant that we must talk about that acts, it's an enzyme that acts as an antioxidant in our body when discussing brain health is CoQ10. Okay, CoQ10 is an enzyme that is vital for energy production and works as an antioxidant in the body, especially the brain. And our bodies do produce this enzyme, all right? But guess what? As we age, so the production of CoQ10 declines. And there's a growing belief among the scientific community that the loss of it is a prime cause of the decline in mental function starting in midlife and moving forward. So bottom line, we don't get enough enough CoQ10, that antioxidant. We are, if we don't get enough in our diets or supplement it, we're not helping ourselves because our bodies are slowly declining in making it. Just as a spark plug is needed to start the engine of an automobile, CoQ10 is essential for the production of energy in a cell. Since the brain is one of the most metabolically active organs in the body, it needs lots of CoQ10. So you gotta think about that. If you need the fuel for energy, right? You need the CoQ10 for your brain, and you need a lot of it. The recommended dosage is actually between 40 and 100 milligrams a day. So how can we make sure we're getting enough CoQ10? Well, Young Living, yay, saves the day as well. Is in Omega Gies, in 4 capsules, you get the 40 milligrams of CoQ10. So if you're taking the Omega Gies, I know for me, I'm taking it because I want that. I want those omega-3s, those fatty acids that come in fish oil. I want to make sure I'm getting that. Well, I'm also getting vitamin D, and now I know I'm getting CoQ10. But if you need a little bit extra boost, here's something to add, and that is MindWise. I really do like this supplement too. Here's one of my 3. I told you that Super B was one of the supplements that if I don't take, I notice a difference in energy levels, mood, and that sort of thing. Well, MindWise, I have found if I have stopped taking that, thinking I don't really need to add that to my daily supplements, I'm going to just not add that to my cart for this month or next. By the 3rd month, goodness, I'm just not as sharp mentally, clear. I got that fog, that brain fog, and that clarity is gone, and that recall is not as fast. So I love adding this supplement to my daily intake. MindWise gives you 31.8 milligrams extra of CoQ10 just in a tablespoon. All right, it's just simple, and you can. Some people put that tablespoon in their Ningxia Red and drink it. By the way, talking about the Ningxia Red, back to that brain protocol. You can drink, 2 to 4 ounces. Some people even adjust that during the times they need more. But Jenna Sullivan, again, from the book here, one of her brain health protocol is to drink 1 to 2 ounces with breakfast and then do it again at lunch. So that's a nice way to kind of spread that out if you so choose. Some people like to do it even at dinner time. All right, so quick note before we move on about CoQ10. It is known that a lot of prescriptive medications, from antidepressants to cholesterol lowering medications, will actually deplete the body of CoQ10. So think about it. If you have an adult who is not really paying attention to supplementation, and as they age, we know that production of CoQ10 is going down. And then if they are on maybe a cholesterol lowering medication and other medications that are depleting their body even more of CoQ10, maybe could there be a relationship of, the way the brain starts slowing down and not being able to remember things? I don't know. I mean, I think this is just what gets me questioning and thinking. And I want to be doing what I can today. And I want you to, with the information we know and the wonderful products we have, to do something with it now, so that I know that 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the way, I just know that I did the best I could with what I was given. So yeah, just wanted to throw that in as well. Hey, we can't, whoops, I want to go on. We can't talk about anything, like with the brain, or have a class about Young Living without talking about the essential oils. So I definitely want to throw this in here and spend a little time. There are a lot of oils that really help, stimulate or calm. We know about that. Will help with emotions, help with focus, clarity. This might be a good one to quickly take a screenshot. But I wanted to highlight a few. And then there was one that it didn't get on here that I have come across it's like I was excited, and that's fennel. I want to add fennel into this mix because fennel will be found in some of the blends, proprietary blends of like MindWise and other of the supplements that Young Living has. So fennel is good. I know bergamot. There's another good one to add either the vitality you could take as a capsule, or again, diffusing is so good. Peppermint's great. And I know rosemary, great for the brain. I didn't add this really as a chat, but these are ones I would love to right now. Anyone who wants to unmute themselves, do you know of, is there a blend? I've got a bunch of blends in front of me right now, or an oil that you love using for the brain, for your brain, diffusing or using for any focus or emotions or stress. Do you have a favorite?
Clarity. Clarity's a really good one.
Good. Anyone else? Do you know about brain power? Love that one. Even the kids that Genius, okay, you're going to find, if you look up Common Sense, if you look these up, you're going to find a lot of these singles in the blends that help support the brain. So really good. Don't forget to use your oils. Yeah, really great for that. Okay. Well, I did have a brain check right here. We'll hear about who our winner was from the last one. But right now, what I want you to think about and add to the chat is, what's your go-to drink when you need to wake up your brain? Put that in the chat. I'm going to stop the share. We're going to come back to.
I love that question, especially because I just did a live on our Living Well Now page about golden turmeric and green tea. That's my favorite combo right now for waking up my brain. It's a good afternoon beverage for me. I want to announce, though, the winner of our giveaway number 2 is Roxanne Apple. Glad to have you on our call tonight, Roxanne. Congratulations. And I will put a link to the giveaway form in the chat for you. Sheila, thank you so much. This is awesome. I am taking so many notes. I just screenshot that, the oils for the brain. So much helpful information. I'm just appreciating this so much.
Well, I'm appreciating how healthy of a group we have here. I mean, yay. I mean, you're choosing Zing. You're choosing, oh, yes. Oh, and you add mango rose turmeric. Oh, I love it. Nigja red when you need peppermint dipstick. Yay. We have nitro. Yay. You guys see, okay. Now that you got the healthy stuff, like, does anyone ever go for something else? I'm pretty impressed by this group, because of course we're in good company, but we know that a lot of people out there don't always grab the things you're mentioning, right? We'll get to that in just a bit, but I do want to talk about just the importance of drinking enough water. Unfortunately, many city water systems contain high amounts of chlorine, a known brain toxin that should be filtered out of your drinking water. And if you're thinking that you're safe because, well, you got a well and you drink well water, just be careful. Well water can be tainted with pesticide runoff, especially if you live close to a farm, if you have lots of farmlands around. And I'm not just, nowadays I know that that there are farmers that are starting to follow total different protocols than they did 40, 50, 60 and more years ago, which is good, but there's still that chance. We also, those of you, if you have well water, but you live in an area with lots of neighbors who like to keep their lawn green, and we don't know what they're spraying or putting on their lawn to get rid of not only pests but also weeds. So all that runoff could harm your drinking water. So just think about that, and also know that good filtered water is just a great way to go. Okay, just that was something that my husband and I, our kids are grown and out of the house now. It was a long time coming for us, but it was on my mind. It was a question of what should we be doing, and we started with all the filters in a pitcher in the refrigerator to now we have a Berkey filter, water filter, and that only because I started hearing people like all of you in our Living Well community. I heard people talking about it, and I think, so pay attention to those that you have, and eventually they might come to a point where yes, it's time and you're ready. Okay, so that's just something to add to that. Boosting your brain is good drinking water. Lots of water is important, but good drinking water is better. And just know sodas are out, right? They are brain busters, especially the diet sodas, because of the toxic aspartame that's added to sweeten them. Beverages that are colored, you guys, the dyes that are added to color a beverage are also brain busters. They can be very toxic depending on where they're coming from. And a lot of them could be those manufactured, they're synthetics, and and drinks like that can be loaded with sugar, and sugar busts the brain. Now, what about coffee? Right? I mean, that's what I figured someone might add, coffee to wake up my brain. Well, it is true that a cup of black coffee can actually be a brain booster. I did a lot of reading on that because it's something I enjoy every morning, is a cup of black coffee. Coffee or caffeine stimulates the brain, and that's something that can be okay. But if you don't like black coffee and you start adding flavors and sugars and creamers and all of that, now you are defeating the whole purpose. So just be careful. But I love that people have talked about the teas, and you, Ange, talked about the golden turmeric. Young Living gives us nitro, zing, the teas. We can get a good dose of good natural caffeine that gives us that great boost. So love all that. Gonna go back to this share, and almost done here, guys, as we think about yeah, right here, just move. Oh, I always do that. That's so funny. Going back and forth. I gotta go up here. There we go. Just thinking about movement. All right, we know, especially when some of us, our jobs are in front of a screen, it feels like, and we can spend hours sitting, and the way to bust your brain is to do just that. Okay, and we want to boost our brain and we want to get active, so set a timer to make sure you're getting up and you're moving. And it's not just, some people may say, well, goodness, I don't sit down from the time I get up or the time I get down, I go to bed at night. Kind of like the man I told you in the story, where he was busy, but what he didn't realize is that he was going from thing to thing to thing, but once he got to that, he was driving to that next thing. And once he got there, that's where he did sitting, and then, drive. So we need to be moving. It makes us happy. It lifts the mood, but also to get to that point where we're building muscle, we're sweating out the toxins. We want to sweat, and we want to be happy. And that's something to remember to do. We have to rest. Your brain does need sleep. That is true. It does need rest. So don't forget that. An intentional rest throughout the day, just a moment of breathing deeply. It needs that oxygen. That's a good booster. But just don't become a couch potato, because it defeats all that you are pouring your dollars into the supplements that you're taking, right? And you want the best for your brain. Plus, remember, by getting yourself to do it now, even though you don't feel like maybe the exercise or the movement or the long walks, by doing that now, it makes it easier for when you get older to do it then, okay? Or when your health is in need of a good adjustment and you've got to change your habits. I want to end my story that I started earlier. I can, all my pages. Here it is. Telling you that that man was my father. When he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, he really didn't know. There was no cure. And he was told that, Roger, you're not going to die of this. You will die of something else. So let's live with it. Let's learn to live with it. Change your diet. Begin to exercise. It will be hard, but begin to walk. Just walk to the mailbox and back. Then walk down to the stop sign and back. Begin to do some mental activities that will help. But it really was too late for him, because it was too late. His brain, he was unable to make the changes to see that he needed to make that change. You know, he had, for what he had done for over 70 years of his life, all of a sudden to do something so drastically different was so difficult for him. And his brain no longer had the capacity to synthesize or evaluate or process what was going on. So we loved him through it. And as he slowly lost the ability to speak, to walk, to eat, and to drink, we said goodbye to him by his bedside in the nursing home last May. And I know that there may not have been healing of body and mind for him, but there was healing of soul through the suffering that we all went through. And there continues to be great benefit from the healing that has come in the relationships with my mother and my sisters, and this just what we learned through that difficult time. So though I grieve his loss, I mostly grieve that we missed out an opportunity years ago to boost his brain, with just what we now know, right, to be good for our brain. And I thank you for joining tonight live, or those of you who may be watching this. And I do challenge you to, think about your daily habits and think about what you're doing, what you're eating, what you're putting on and in your body, because what we do today does really matter for our tomorrow. And I wish you all health. And health is not just on the outside, right? And health is not always just because, no hospital, no diagnosis. No, that's not it either. It's much bigger. And I know the Living Well Now community gets it, is getting it at a deeper level even now, and will continue to learn what that means as we go forward. So thanks so much.
Oh, Sheila, thank you so much for being such an incredible leader and sharer. I think Roxanne says it well in the chat. She said, your message is powerful. Thanks for sharing your story with your precious father and your wisdom from that experience. It's never too late to learn to live with something new, right? Whatever that is. I think I really appreciate that. I wrote that down, that this is about how do we learn to live with whatever is our
situation
yeah. or dis-ease, right? We like to use dis-ease, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing that tonight. And on behalf of Living Well Now, we are super grateful that you all have joined us tonight. We feel honored that you took your time to learn some great brain boosting activities. Remember that if you have not placed an order in a while, the website looks a little different. Our platform is customer friendly, so super easy for you to access, to add some of these things to your cart. Go ahead.
Yes, you guys, I'm so glad you mentioned, this is so exciting. So two things. One is, do you know how easy you can type in CoQ10 in the search bar and the products with CoQ10 will come up? You can type in B vitamins. You can type in antioxidants. I mean, or DHA, how super cool is that? So do that, use that search bar. My second thing, I have to tell you this, my kindergarten teacher, Miss Pro, who was old, I thought, when I was in kindergarten at 1970, was in the nursing home at the same time when my dad was there. So he was we had to go visit her when Dad first was moved in. And so I, pushed his wheelchair. We went down to see Miss Pro. And sadly, she had no idea who we were. There she was, her hair still the same. And she was reading the newspaper. So but she didn't know who we were. And I, just talked to her and thanked her. But it was like this, wow, there she was.
Wow.
Anyway, wanted to share that.
A full circle moment.
Again, and who knows our path and what, but again, we just know so much more now than what our parents and their parents did. And so let's do something with it, right?
Yes. I love that. And what an opportunity to be able to share with this future generation. I see a lot of mamas and dads on this call tonight who are sharing with future generations just small changes that you can make to your lifestyle. In terms of movement and drinking more water and paying attention to ingredients on labels. There's just little steps that you can take to make a huge difference for yourself and for your family. So thank you, Sheila, for highlighting those. And thanks for staying on for just a few extra minutes to share a little bit about your business story and why you got started as we launch into our next opportunity call. Remember, next week we will have a call at 5 all about what do you do with your oils or your products once you become a customer? How do you order again? How do you get on our Subscribe to Save program so that you're getting the best value out of the opportunity? And maybe even for those of you who are interested, how do you become a brand partner? So that's coming up next Wednesday at 5 o'clock in this same room using that same link. You'll get another update from Living Well Now before next Wednesday's call. And I would be remiss if I didn't also offer that tomorrow night we begin 1,000 Dare Revolution. For those of you looking for a little extra training as brand partners, we are actively adding people to our group right now and making sure that everybody's set for that 5:30 to 7 p.m. on Thursdays. So again, thanks for joining us for this. I'm going to stop the recording and stop the live stream. Take a big stretch break, grab an oil if you've got one around you.